Buongiorno tutti and welcome to Jason's Lockdown Larder. I'm Jason Simmons, the Cockney cook, and today we've got a May marvel that'll blow your mind. It's polpetti della Nonna, and that is Nonna's meatballs. So guys, before I start, if you like the video, please hit the like button and please subscribe. So let's go through the ingredients before we start. We've got 500 grams of minced beef. You could use a minced beef and minced pork combination. I like minced beef. If you are going to use minced beef, do not get the 5% fat variety because the fat is where it's at. So you need something that's like 10%, 15% fat. That is what we've got because that's where the flavour is. We've got 50 grams of grated Parmesan. We've got 50 grams of breadcrumbs. We've got 2 beaten eggs, 2 crushed cloves of garlic, and a nice big bunch of chopped herbs, and that is basil and that is flat leaf parsley. If you've only got one of them, basil or flat leaf parsley, use the one. But I had a combo, so I've gone for the combo. Just to let you know, this was my great grandmother's recipe. So Rachel and Jessica, if you are watching, this was your great grandmother's, no, it wasn't. It was your great great grandmother's recipe. That's how much greater can you get? So they're going to be great. They're going to be. Okay, we are going to use our hands, so make sure they're clean. Might be a good one to get the saucepan lids involved in, the kids. And they had some. It's cooking time. So I'm going to go, just because they're precariously balanced, I'm going to go straight in with my herbs, because I looked like I was going to knock them all over the place at any time. So, in with my cheese, in with my breadcrumbs, in with my garlic. Now at this point, before I mix everything up, I'm going to give it a nice big pinch of salt, and I'm going to give it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 twists of pepper. I'm going to give that a quick mix up. First, eggs going in. I'm using a finger today. Forgot the flicky spoon. So I just want to say, Savannah, if you're watching, I've seen some of the lovely food that you've been making with your mum, Sel, and it looks like you've been doing a fantastic job. Rush, thank you for sending me pictures of the amazing food that you made, and a big shout out to Polish Street Food. Okay, I'm going to roll my sleeves up for this one, and I'm going to show you that we're going to make a meatball that is not as big as a tennis ball, but definitely bigger than a golf ball. Okay, so what kind of ball size would that be? There we go. Can you see that? That is probably about, if I was to say it was a 2-inch square ball. Okay, so we want our meatballs to be a decent size. These are not Swedish, they're Italiano meatballs, polpetti, okay? That's our meatballs all rolled, and 500 grams has given me 9 beautiful meatballs. So, what do we do now? Okay guys, I'm just gonna heat this up and I'm going to put, hopefully you can see that, 2 tablespoons of olive oil. You could just put them in like that. But if you roll them in seasoned flour, any flour that you've got, so if you've only got, I don't know, self-raising or any flour you've got, just roll them in it. We're going to do 3 at a time, so we're going to do them in batches. Okay, you just roll them in it and we're just sealing them. So why, Jay, are we using flour, you're going to ask me? Because when we put them in our tomato sauce that we're going to make shortly, the flour on the outside is going to make that sauce super rich, velvety and unctuous. Unctuosissimo, even if that isn't a word it should be. That's our last 3 sealed. So this is a big, robust sauce. We want 1 carrot, 2 celery sticks and 1 decent sized onion. I would say that's between medium and large. We call it midi large. That's what that is. We want 2 tins of chopped tomatoes. We want 2 garlic cloves. We want 1 glass of red wine, Italian if you've got it. And we want salt and pepper to season. And also we're going to use a little drop of water. Okay guys, that's everything diced. Now I just want to quickly let you know that in Italian cooking they call this the Holy Trinity because we've got carrots, onions and celery. And that is the basis for most kind of soups, stews, big heavy sauces, okay? Holy Trinity. That sells a nice deep pan, first of all, and we get ourselves 2 tablespoons. 1, so there's a lot of veg there. 2, okay? 2 tablespoons of olive oil, not extra virgin olive oil. If you've only got extra virgin olive oil, that's fine. But all I'm saying is, you don't need extra virgin olive oil. You just need good old plain olive oil for cooking. Now, we're gonna flick a spoon and we're gonna slowly put these in there. Now, the idea is that we are not frying these so they're brown. We are softening them and we're getting all the flavour we can. So we need to cook these nice, and hear that all cooking away. We're going to leave that. When I say leave it, you're going to leave me. But I'm going to pay it a bit of attention just to make sure nothing's burning. But this is going to take a good 10 minutes. 10 minutes has passed and it's looking really good. It's softened. But we've got a little way to go yet. We've got a little way to go. So, at this point, we pop our garlic in, okay? So that was a couple of big cloves in there. I'm going to pop a little bit more in there because I like a bit of garlic. We put our wine in. Now, quite often, let's pop that in there. Quite often, when you see them cooking in films, they go, and we put the tomatoes in, and we put a bit of wine in. No, you put your wine in now. And the reason you put the wine in now is because you want it to have a background flavour of wine and enhance it, but you don't want it to taste of alcohol. So we want to heat the alcohol. What would happen if we put it in at the tomato stage? The alcohol wouldn't get hot enough to burn off and it would all amalgamate with the tomatoes and it'd taste, I know it's going to sound ridiculous, but it would taste too winey, whereas we want it to be part of the ensemble. We don't want it to be the starring character because that isn't what this is all about. The wine's reduced down and we're left with the perfect consistency. Let's get rid of that for us to now put our tomatoes in. So I want to put this tin in first. That's it. And then I'm going to put this tin in. 2 tins of Tommy's. Okay, give them a little stir around. That's perfect. It's quite thick. We need a little bit more liquid in there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pour, that's a glass, which is basically just under a tin of water. And then I'm going to pour it in there. So we get all the bits of it. We're not wasting anything. You know me, I don't like to waste anything. Okay, that goes in. That's perfecto. That goes in. A little stir around. We're going to leave that for 5 minutes. Bring it to the boil. I'm going to whiz half of it up. So, because it's quite chunky, and I sort of like mine medium chunky. You might prefer yours super chunky, and if you do, all right, you don't whiz it up. If you like it really smooth, right, that's it, because I still want it chunky. So it's just a half whiz up. Put that there. I've got asbestos hands, you be careful. You can see. Now that is beautiful. Now before we put anything in there, we season it. Salt. A bit of salt in there. A bit of pepper. Okay. A little stir around. Now I don't need to taste it at this stage because I'll probably season it again at the end, and the seasoning will taste different at the end. And the reason is, right, so 2 bay leaves and meatballs. Remember those guys? Right, so now we pop our meatballs directly into our sauce. I'm going to put it on the stove. I'm going to cook it on the lowest heat possible, and I'm going to let it blip away. That is Nonna's meatball. Have a look at that, guys. So it goes without saying that obviously we've made that in tomato sauce, so his perfect partner would be pasta. What you could do, you could take the meatballs out, you could serve the pasta and sauce as a starter, and then you could have the meatballs with maybe rosemary potatoes, some steamed green beans. So you could make almost 2 meals out of that one pot. But of course, I've got to try it. Now the thing is, with a real Italian meatball, come here, it's, I have to use a finger, they're moist. They're moist. Oh, exactly how my Nonna used to make them. You have got, and I always say it, you have got to try this at home. It is the best Italian meatball you will ever have. Forget Swedish meatballs. Forget these little things that you buy in the supermarket and pop in a bit of sauce and they taste like dense nothingness. That is one mouthful of southern Italy that's just gone and transported me there. Forget about lockdown. I think I'm in Napoli. You've been watching Jason's Lockdown Larder. Thank you for watching. If you like the video and you're watching on Facebook, please share. If you're on YouTube, please like the video and subscribe. And please look out for future videos.